You don't notice anything weird. You don't notice anything weird. You do get pretty tired though, and you go and knock on the door of the next person who is supposed to be night watching. Who do you go and bother?
I have a bottle of wine.
Okay, Kane.
Hell yeah!
That's okay. Sure, Kane. I guess now Bred, Leto, and Rowen are sharing the bed. I guess. Kane walks out and to the hallway. Roll the same thing: perception and stealth.
13.
Okay.
16.
Okay. You notice as the night goes on that some of the pictures in the house depict who you think is Jackson Marrow, but as a much older man. You spot a family portrait of Jackson, Alice, and William, with a servant on each side of the couple. And this photo seems to have been taken when William was still a toddler. And you notice even more that, and you notice again that there are paintings of Jackson as a soldier. And you notice one especially of him holding a very interesting looking sword in one hand and casting a spell in the other hand. And you are looking at this painting when you realize that something is walking through the halls and approaching the room that you slept in until Rowena came in. Rowena and Bred, roll for me two perception checks. Roll for me perception checks, each of you. That's a D20. D20. 20 sided. Yeah.
14.
14. Okay, Ron.
14.
Both of you wake up from your sleep as something enters into the door, and it is another shambling corpse, but this time he's wearing the outfit of a butler.
Oh shit!
And the zombie pushes Bredlito off the bed and lunges for Rowen. Rowen, roll for dexterity.
What dice?
D20. Anything that's not like damage or combat rolls, that's a D20.
5.
5? Okay.
Oh my god.
The zombie grapples you to the bed. Its hands, it's like its thumbs, like going like almost like kind of squeeze your eyes, like through your eyelids.
Ew.
Yeah. You try and like kick it off, but the zombie like pushes the weight of its torso against your legs and pins you onto the bed, and it glows. The whole body glows a bright light, and the light transfers to your body, and you and Bredlito watches as you and the zombie are both vanish from sight.
What?
Sorry, what?
What? So wait, I'm dead, or does that mean can I do anything?
There was going to be some kinky shit.
Okay, Bredlito. Let's if you roll good on this, I will retcon this. What do you want to do to try and stop this?
I mean, can I cast a spell to knock off the zombie?
Sure. Go through the spell list and tell me what spell you want to try.
There's this one literally named Knock.
Oh no, it unlocks something.
Oh,
So
okay.
unless you're gonna unlock the zombie.
There's this one Acid Arrow. That sounds cool.
Yeah, sure. You hit the zombie, it screams and like arcs its back, freeing Rowen from its grasp.
Holy
And,
fucking shit, 1 hour and 30
zombie,
minutes in, just want to say that the DM's voice sounds
Neil's,
like a demon. He has like
please roll. I'm gonna roll damage for you.
background sound
That's
around
four
him that just makes him
four-sided
sound
dice.
fucking demonic.
That's a 3.
And I think that's cool.
And you shoot the arrow onto the zombie, and the zombie it arches its back forward and screams in pain, and falls to the bed, and the acid like gets on the covers and the bed sheet, and Rowen is free from his grasp. I guess roll initiative, both of you.
Don't I notice this?
Oh yeah, sure. Kane, you can walk in and roll initiative too. Rowen, I guess the only weapon that you have on you is your dagger because you were sleeping.
Yep.
So yeah, you can either hop off the bed, or you can try and attack this with your cool little dagger.
Or stay in bed with this hell yeah, some kinky shit's gonna happen. No.
Remember how
Kane, are you
you were
necrophilic or something?
like?
I'm just
I thought I was the guy who was into people who ate human flesh. Yeah, we were talking about Comrade or Amazons before this. All right, Rowen, are you gonna attack it, or are you gonna do something else? Hop off. Okay, so the zombie's gonna get a attack of opportunity on you. That's a nat 20 from the zombie, and the zombie is going to slam you with its left arm, and it's going to deal. Let's see how much health you have. You have 21 health, so 21 minus 14. How much is 21 minus 14? I failed math. 7. Right, okay. That's a 7. So, yeah, now it is the zombie's turn. No, actually, wait, that's just your movement. Do you want to fight back?
What?
I'm sorry, but the DM is making this sound like rough sex.
Can you horny fucker? Swear.
Oh, I'm horny.
Why am I thinking so hard?
Maybe the anxiety. Kane, shut the fuck up.
That's not gay, but okay.
We're just used to it.
You know what? Fucking fight back.
Okay, with you have a short sword, a dagger, and a short bow. I like how I give Rowen 3 options and she struggles to.
I'm trying my best to think. Okay, I'm trying to piece shit off. Okay. Okay, just the sword. The sword.
Yeah, sure. I guess you like hop off, not exactly off the bed, but like onto your feet, and you roll attack. That's a d20.
20.
Okay, yeah, that's a crit. Roll a d6. You like pick up, I guess, the sword from where you left it off, and you try the zombie's neck, and you almost like and you behead it, and his head rolls off onto the floor, but the body still moving and trying to grab at you. It's the zombie's turn, and the zombie is going to try and grapple Rowen again. Rowen, roll for strength. That's another d20. Okay, yeah, it rolled a 3, so you won. It tries and grabs you, but you just push it back onto the bed. Now it's your turn. Hello. You start with your rapier. Okay. Roll an attack, please. 16 hits. Roll damage. Okay, sure. Roll a d8 for strength. My God, man. You poke it with your rapier, and somehow the zombie just crumbles to dust.
I did it, guys! I did it!
Nice. Congratulations. I'm proud of you.
Congratulations.
That's mostly. I'm going to say that's mostly because of Bredalito's acid arrow.
You're welcome.
Get it? Thank you.
Okay. Da na 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 na. Everybody roll perception if you heard all of that happening. Who weren't in the room. And he goes to the room and he goes, "What happened here? Why did you kill a zombie? How did the zombie get inside here?
Some kinky sex should have.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Kinky section was happening and you didn't tell me?
Listen, I don't know about undead things. Being a normal human who is a carpenter and has no knowledge of the undead, I don't think zombies do kinky sex stuff. They're just zombies.
Okay. Well, when I was on night watch, I saw something, but then that thing was apparently a zombie, and it tried to lay Rowen.
Why are you? I just said zombies don't do that. They're dead. They don't do the sex thing.
It
Yeah,
just
well,
barged,
people can have their own beliefs.
barged into the room
This
and
isn't a belief
killed
thing.
and there.
This isn't a belief. Thank you, Bredlito. Thank you. While you're arguing about the merits of undead sex, you hear two screams from the room that Avery and Smithson were staying in, and you hear something happening in the room that Dan was sleeping in. And when you go and check on both of those rooms, Dan, Avery, and Smithson are gone.
Oh no. Your one defense against the undead is gone. Congratulations, guys.
Well, we also lost the arsonist, so I suppose that's a good thing.
Oh yeah, Biggus, roll a perception check. You also disappear. Dan, you wake up restrained on a metal surface. There are leather straps holding you in place, securing your arms so that they don't move. You are in a small, dark, cramped room, and next to you is Avery, Smithson, and Biggus. However, all three of them are sitting down, still like tied up and gagged. But you are on that like sort of metal table, and next to that table are little knives and what seems to be a large tome spellbook. You pull your head back, and you notice that behind you is a large painting of the Marrow family of Jackson, Alice, and William. And Alice, William, and Jackson seem older than they are as you know them, and they seem to be missing some parts. You see that Alice doesn't have her right arm. You see that Jackson is wearing an eye patch. You see William just look very skinny and malnourished. They are wearing rags compared to what they're wearing now, and you hear footsteps approaching you, and the person who walks in from the door to the right in front of you is Jackson Marrow wearing his cloak, and Jackson looks at you on the operating table, and he says, "Hello. I don't believe I caught your name, but well, corpses don't need names, so to speak." And
I am Amnesia Dan.
your mouth is gagged, so it'd be more like, "Fuck you!" And Jackson sort of goes, "Yes, yes," and he grabs you by the cheek, and he casts prestidigitation, and a fire burns in his arm, and he places it next to your face to try and illuminate your features to him, and he goes, "Yes, yes, yes, good, good, good." His like left eye is blinking more rapidly than his right eye, and he says, This one keeps causing me trouble. I need a new one. And you have very good eyes. And seeing Jackson now illuminated by his own mystical light, you notice stitches where there shouldn't be stitches. You notice that his one eye has green irises and the other has blue irises. You notice one middle finger that seems shorter than what his middle finger should be. You notice these tiny little imperfections and anachronisms in Jackson's body as Jackson examines you, and he sort of examines the rest of your like torso and legs, and he goes, yes, human, strong, young, a very suitable candidate. You should be honored, my boy. And he pats your hair. And he like grabs that's the left side of your face and specifically puts some pressure on your left eye. In fact, and Jackson continues and says, "In fact, with a body like this, maybe I should just make a full transfer instead of cutting out the parts I like."
What?
Yeah, that's not creepy at all.
Yeah. He turns away from you and to the other people. Okay, and he goes to the other people. Dickus, Avery, and Smithson tied up and gagged. And Dan, you notice on his back is a big two-handed obsidian sword with a glowing white eye on the hilt. And for some reason, the sword calls to you. What do you want to try and do here?
Well, I assume I don't have my mace and javelin with me.
No, you actually notice them on the floor, like around you.
But I still have my clothing on, right?
Yes, you still have your clothing on. Yeah.
So I reach into my pocket and grab the screwdriver.
The arcane screwdriver. Roll for sleight of hand.
18.
You manage to wiggle your arms into your pocket and pull out the purple sort of probe-looking device of the arcane screwdriver. What do you want to do?
I mean, I can break out with that.
You want to unlock the straps?
I mean, I can't I?
You can't. Roll for stealth. I want to know if Jackson notices this. Okay, sure. I'm gonna roll for perception for Jackson. He does not notice you do it. You unlock the leather straps.
Okay, can I grab my stuff?
Roll for sleight of hand. This is for if he notices you or not.
20.
You just
Yes.
fucking grab all of your weapons, and he does not hear a thing.
If I do run away, I can tell the others. But I don't even know where I am, and I don't know where the others are. If I attack him now, there's that obsidian sword that God knows what it does. And I'm not entirely sure how the other 3 people in here are gonna help me. I don't know where I am, do I?
You do not know where you are. You were teleported here.
Take the sword.
Oh. Sleight of hand. Sword's grip catches on fire and burns you, and you pull away. And Jackson turns around and, with a swift motion, unsheathes the sword. Usually, I don't get specimens with such clever brain. He tries and slashes you, but you roll off of the metal operating table, and he cuts the table in half with the sword, and he raises it to you. Do you want to try taking on this guy alone?
That is certainly a horrifying attack. I have my mates with me, so I can figure something out.
Okay, so what do you want to do?
I assume he's some sort of undead.
Roll for religion. See if you figure that out. With the observations you have made of his body and of the nature of the sword, you do know that this is an undead. Specifically, you know that he must be some sort of lich or some sort of death knight, both of which are very bad for you.
Okay. And since you've established that I am not an Oathbreaker of Paladin, that means
Not
I
yet.
can't use. Yeah, does that mean I can't use Control Undead? Is there any entrances to this place, or is it literally just a place underground somewhere?
It was he came in through a door that is now closed, but he didn't seem to lock it.
Okay, how far away am I from the others?
The others are behind Jackson.
Okay, I don't have much choice here. I'm just gonna attack.
Okay, roll a d20. As you go and attack with your mace,
Yep.
The point that you were going to strike, a spectral armor forms around that part, and eventually the cloak disappears off of him, and he is enveloped in a ghastly dark armor. The attack does nothing. You don't hit him. He instead is going to Jackson sighs and goes, "You don't know me, do you?" And
Does it matter right now, though?
It should, because I would wager that I am much more of a danger than you are. And he's going to try and attack you with the obsidian sword. Hold on, sorry. 18.
My armor class is 18, so
That hits. That hits. If it matches your armor class, it just hits.
Okay.
That's a 10. That's a 5. That's a 15. And that's another 10. That's 25. Plus radiant damage. That's 2, 1. That's 28 damage.
Okay, that's a lot. Just a question though. Does the sleep earlier count as a long rest?
It did. It's a short rest, but I'm gonna say that you do have your spell slots back and your health back. So, he doesn't even like strike you with the hard part of the sword, the sharp part of the sword. He strikes you with the blunt part, and you go flying across the room and onto the wall, and you slump down, but you manage to stand your ground again. I am Lord Jackson Marrow, commander of Magiga's 63rd Great Battalion. I fought in the War of the Broken Blades, and you are a child compared to me.
Well, this is a problem.
Okay, actually, Biggus, I think you are awake now.
Okay, I'm still strapped on.
Please roll strength to see if you can break through.
Oh my god, 20!
You, with your dwarvish strength, you just like flex and like the ropes break off. You see your weapons. You see your weapons at the back of the room. They are in range for you to grab them. Great sword.
Yeah.
You do that, and Jackson looks behind. Oh, well. I was only really planning on using the dwarf for his eyes. The rest of him, I don't much care for. Yeah, he just notices you now. So what do you do? You can still move to try and attack him, but
Just distract him, and then you can go try to free the others.
okay. So that's a help action. Okay, sure. That's a help action. Just roll a d20. I think probably charisma to try and distract Jackson. Roll a charisma.
15.
15. I'm gonna roll wisdom for Jackson. 15. I'm gonna give that to I'm sorry, Dickus. So yeah, you now have Jackson's full attention. Dan, you can make for the others, or you can run away, or you can attack again.
Yeah, sure, I'll make for the others. Whatever
Okay.
choice do I have right now?
Okay, you go to Avery and Smithson.
Kitty. Sorry.
Which one? Yeah, no, that's fine. Kitty is very important. You go to Avery and Smithson. Avery is the Dragonborn lady, and Smithson is the human farmer. Which one do you free first?
The closest one?
The closest one would be Avery. So you go and free Avery, untie her, and kind of bop her on the head to wake her up. And goes, "Ow! What the fuck? Where are we?"
Long story, but I don't know the story either. Let's just wake up and kill that guy.
You wake her up, and Jackson, with his full attention on Biggus, floats, like hovers a bit, and goes and tries and stab Biggus. Hold on, where's my d20? Okay, here it is. There's a 13 hit.
No.
Okay, he hovers through the air and tries and stabs you with his obsidian sword, but you leap out of the way, and he drives the sword straight through the wall. He looks at the whole assortment of you, and he pulls the sword out of the wall and raises his hand, and in a flash of green light, Jackson, Dan, I'm sorry, Avery and Biggus are on the roof of the manor. Smithson is not anywhere near you.
Wait, what?
It is raining, and light, and there is a thunderstorm brewing.
So we're on the roof of the manor right now, and everyone is currently in the manor, right?
Right. I'm gonna roll for Joseph to see if he can sense or see what's happening right now. He rolled an 18. Joseph, back with you guys in the room, trying to discuss what you think is happening. Joseph goes, "Wait, I can feel an undead presence in the roof. Follow me!" And Joseph hovers away, fangs and claws bared. Who follows him?
I do.
Okay, Kane follows. Rowen?
I'm still going to follow though. I'm still following. I follow.
Harlot's there. Okay, so yeah, everybody is going up to the fight. In time for you to all reach there. Yeah. Sorry. Is Bred Lido gonna go and join the fight against the big bad knight with the obsidian?
I kind of went a little bit MIA. I'm sorry.
Okay, it's basically Dan kidnapped by the host of the whole event, Jackson, Jackson Narrow, and Dan managed to escape and untie one of the captives, and Jackson has teleported all of them to the roof, where a storm is brewing and a fight is going to happen.
So we're all on the roof and we're gonna fight this dude.
Yeah, in the storm.
Red Lido's gonna join.
All right. You all hop onto the roof. Joseph goes there first, and you all notice the rain, the storm, the lightning, the thunder, and Jackson looks at Joseph and goes, "Ah, the vampire joins. I was so very curious to see what I could do with you." And Joseph is like, "I am okay, guys. I have to come clean here. I'm not. I am a vampire."
Oh my god!
What?
Surprise!
Oh my god, who would know? They didn't even notice! They didn't even notice!
Oh my god! I did not even notice.
Why did you
I
use
know.
that
I
garlic
am
bread?
I am incredibly subtle. I came here.
Incredibly subtle you are, yes. Very.
I came here because I sense the undead presence threatening the area originating from the manor. Lord Jackson, why are you doing this? And Jackson goes, well, Joseph, as an undead, you know the rules of what we must do. We feed on the living to sustain ourselves. This manor, you were the one to say that this manor had no servants. They all perished, along with me and my family in fire. But I am Lord Jackson Marrow, and I do not lose what I want to keep. And he points the sword at Dan. You and some of the others here. I need people like you to sustain me. Listen, I don't have the intention of killing any of you. If you would all just surrender to the process and let me extract what I need for me, my wife, and my child, I can let you go. As long as you don't say anything about what you experienced tonight with the world.
That's my dry daddy.
It was like a donor thing. Why didn't you say that sooner?
So you need So you need our essence or whatever.
I need your body parts specifically.
Body part.
Yes.
Well, that's
Body
so
part specific. Our brain.
Well, Alice's nose is to fail in its old age, and you, halfling, have quite a good one. I wouldn't mind carving it out for her.
I am bred. You
Mm.
want your wife to have a bred nose. You want your wife to have a nose made out of bread.
As long as it works.
No.
Going to be fair, all three of you are undead. You really need to breathe. You need a nose.
What is the point of continuing in our unlife?
Well, why
if
can't
we cannot
you just
experience?
if body parts is what you need, then why can't you just take it from dead people? From dead bodies, fresh dead bodies. Why?
The limbs of those recently departed do not have the same energy. Not have the same life that a recently extracted piece does.
Oh, come on, now you're just being picky.
I am Lord Jackson Marrow, and I take what I want.
What you want is super picky. Get what you have something.
You're getting increasingly quieter.
Okay, but just so you know, if we're gonna fight and if we lose and you're gonna take my nose or whatever, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work.
And
She's garlic bread.
I'm not garlic bread. I am bread. I am just bread.
Just go below with it.
Sure, incest are
I heard that some animals have organs similar to humans. So if that's what you want, you can go kill your pig or something.
Yeah.
I like the cows.
Dan, roll dexterity.
Wait, what?
Roll dexterity. He raises his hand at you, and the sky, the clouds above you darken, and a lightning bolt pierces the heavens and strikes at Dan. Still take 23 amounts of damage. Yeah.
I am dead.
What? You fall to the ground, Dan. Your mace cluttering onto the battlefield. I'm sorry, Dan. You take 11 points of damage. I'm sorry.
Never mind. I'm not dead, but I only have 12 health.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Biggus, what did you roll?
14 plus 15.
I say you save. You take 11 points of thunder damage.
How much? 11?
Huh? Yeah, 11.
Oh shit.
And Avery is also going to try and save. Avery gets struck by the lightning the most, and she falls to the ground. Like her scales like charred and like kind of like sort of smoking, and she coughs weakly, and blood kind of pops out of her mouth. She looks very close to death. Two clouds of purple smoke appear before him, and the purple slowly becomes a blood red, as from the smoke, two summoned hellhounds appear and surround Jackson and surround Jackson.
Oh, he's summoning minions now.
Everybody, roll for initiative.
Oh,
Hold on, I just went downstairs.
Okay.
that's like 20.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Now, combat usually takes like a long time. Do you guys want to do this today, or do you want to save this for like a next session thing?
Let's save it for next. Can we save it for next session? Because
Yeah, I want an extra star.
Sure.
Okay.
and I'm
Okay.
and I'm like losing attention span.
Okay. So that's where we're going to end off this session. Next session is going to be the battle up atop the Marrow Manor against Jackson Marrow and his Hellhounds. Everybody, thank you for participating in this session. I hope you all had a good time.
So,
Next session is going to
Bianca,
be
what do you think?
Huh?
I'm not as confused as I thought I would be.
Yeah. Priyanka, did you have,
What?
did
You
you
don't
have
say shit.
some fun? Were
Yeah.
you,
I had fun.
I mean, the session felt a lot more slow than the others.
yeah. Felt a lot less chaotic. Oh, sorry.
Just
A lot
tanking
less
up there.
chaotic, but hey, it's like for a newcomer, it's okay. It's
Yeah,
it's fun.
I was just
It is what it is.
I was trying to sort of build, I guess, atmosphere. I guess. Napkin, I'm gonna send over the Switch tomorrow. This afternoon.
To me.
Holy shit! You have a Switch?
Yeah.
Let's play Animal Crossing.
You have a Switch!
I
I want to play Animal Crossing. Find out something. What the hell?
I want to play Animal Crossing.
Play Minecraft.
I hate
I
all
actually,
Yeah.
I actually don't want to play Animal Crossing. I had my sights on other.
Hey, guys, how about a D&D session in Minecraft?
Oh,
I don't play Minecraft.
I mean, you can get
That
Minecraft. You
before,
watch
but
it.
you guys said no.
You need it. When did you say
I
that?
did. It was like
No, you didn't.
when we started this
Hashtag.
whole like
Online session, we asked about like how are we gonna do the thing with like how far we are the thing. I just said, oh, let's use Minecraft. We can make grids there. I don't remember.
I don't recall you saying that.
Yeah.
How
Did no
was-
one hear me? No. Look, man. If
Who's talking right now?
Oh my
me,
god.
No, like
Sorry,
there's
please,
this
Juan.
like weird other guy who
Jesus.
like spoke, but I couldn't tell what he was saying.
It's a ghost.
I will say that
that's you.
Priya, you wanted Bread Leader to be like useless this session, but like I mean, you kind of saved Rowan's life, so
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
how did that happen?
No,
I help.
here. I expected this like session to be all chaotic, like oh this thing and led to this thing, you know, like a lot of fighting and all that shit. So I thought that since I'm still very new, I thought that Bread Leader should just be useless, can't fight or
Yeah,
anything. Make up excuse for him to not be able to use his magic.
no.
No.
Fifth edition is much more focused on like the role play aspect of D&D rather than the combat aspect.
Oh, okay.
And honestly, we are far better at the roleplay aspect than the fighting one. Really?
What?
I mean, we've won most of our fights, but all of you use accents. That
next session.
No.
No.
I am using an accent.
I mean,
You're
the
right.
DM uses every
I
session.
mean, the DM has to
Yeah.
the DM has to give the characters personalities.
I mean, Brett Leto doesn't have an accent. Do you want me to just speak in his like actual language?
You started Brett Leto what's it called?
What?
Well, you started speaking as Brett Leto with a British accent. I still remember.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna do a Scottish accent and try and do that with Bred later. I do Scottish accents by trying to mimic the 12th Doctor.
Does a Spanish accent exist?
Spanish?
Spanish accent.
They just talk fast.
It is me, Remora. I don't know.
Because if it does, I might try to learn it for Red Leto because Red Leto's Spanish.
Bred
Oh,
Leto
okay.
is
I thought it was Italian, but okay.
Orejos.
No, he's not.
Sad, but okay, it's fine.
Halflings.
Your
Halflings
choice.
are-
He doesn't fuck with Italians, man.
Okay,
He's scared of them.
Priya.
Okay.
Do you want Priya? Do you want to stay a halfling, or do you want me to come up with a whole new race that is just bred and
Yes!
try and
Please! Please!
try and give it?
Look, Red Leto has his own
stats.
look. Unlike y'all's characters, Red Leto is my actual OC, so I can, yeah.
Give us an example. I want to see what Brett is like.
I mean,
Wait, how can you go to the same school as me and hasn't never seen Red Leto? That is impossible.
I mean,
Wait, what?
he's
Okay.
he's not a bad. He's not from the junior high as love school, so
He was only 1 year.
Oh yeah.
Bred Leto
Me,
is
that I've
my
seen
God.
Bred Leto, and I've drawn Bred
Wait,
Leto.
I haven't seen it.
and also Priya.
Red Leto?
Bred
Leto is an omnipresent being.
Yeah.
Priya. Also, as the dungeon master, every NPC is my OC.
Nice.
Yeah.
I need Bred Leto is in lab school.
Yeah, exactly.
He's everywhere.
He's everywhere.
Okay.
Ooh,
He's
what?
Everywhere.
He's a
Everywhere.
drawing of
You
bread
never
with the
know.
guy's face on it.
This
He
is
watches over everything.
This is what showed up when I searched Bred Leto.
It's just bread.
This
Don't-
year, that's just a literal Brett.
Well-
It is. That's why I'm confused. What's the Bred Leto?
You know what? Here, let me just send you a picture.
You know-
like around fast
Yeah.
drawing of it.
Priya. You know what I think of
Yes.
now that when you mentioned Bred Leto?
What?
Hello. You know what I think about now that whenever you mention Bred Leto?
What?
Hello and welcome to the Hot Dog Saga, written by me, Shane Bergara. Commissioned by Ryan Bergara and adored by everyone. Commissioned, yeah, that's
great.
yeah.
Dude, that's what Red Leto is. Red Leto is everybody's father. So, okay, let me just tell you all about, his,
Okay,
let me just tell you all about his whole shtick. Okay, I don't care.
I've heard this before. No, wait. One last question.
What?
Is Bred Leto the best kind of bread? Banana bread?
Bread's best.
Hey, garlic bread is the best bread.
Yeah, bread. I think garlic bread. Garlic bread is best.
Okay, okay. Hot take. I don't like garlic bread that much.
How dare
Literally Joseph. Literally Joseph.
How?
Hey, how dare
How? You like garlic bread?
Listen,
I don't think I've ever eaten garlic bread before.
listen. Okay, I don't dislike the taste. The thing I dislike is the weird sort of mouth feel of it, the greasy mouth feel. Yeah, that's what I don't like.
texture?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think I've ever eaten that before.
I love garlic bread, but I'm very picky with it. Like, it has to be really, really good garlic bread, or otherwise,
Yeah.
why
Look
is
at me, I like good things.
garlic bread?
Okay,
Okay,
Priya,
anyways, Bread Leto.
go on. Yeah, go on with your bread-based adventure.
Okay, so Bread Leto. I'm just gonna mix it in with this whole thing, Dungeons and Dragons thing. So Bread Leto, he was, he's Hispanic bread. And he was born in like Europe, in the Netherlands. He found himself in the Netherlands for whatever reason, and he's the last bred in the universe. Because why? Well, back like centuries ago, bred people, they thrive and they live. They kind of live like rats in the roof of people's houses, because sometimes when people make bread, like some life fucking
Priya,
it
I'm-
becomes
People's
life,
Priya?
houses.
I'm sorry to interrupt this, but I looked through the homebrew Dungeons and Dragons Wikipedia, and someone took the time to create a new race for 5th edition called the Breddens.
The what?
No.
The what? The
Yeah.
what? The what?
Oh my
Rowan,
god.
Rowan,
Let me.
Yeah.
There's something.
yeah, that's
Rowan.
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 Yeah, what's
Your,
up?
your
Yeah,
mic.
never mind.
Hi.
I'm a fan.
Sorry.
Okay.
No.
Let of their history according to this Wikipedia page. According to them, the first breadin was baked by an old lady whose name and race has been forgotten in a farm many eras ago. After he was eaten by a fox, the lady created 2 more, bigger and wider than the one that was eaten. They found that the ambient of a farm is not precisely the best when you are made out of bread. So after the lady died, the breadin started to reproduce and spread, finding deserts as the most comfortable places of them all. As they are not adept to fight nor to get wet, they live in places as remote and as dry as possible
That
because
is-
no
That's way different than
because no empire wants a piece of desert with no water. Finding a breadin colony has always been considered as a signal of total lack of water, so they rarely get attacked.
Bro.
I can imagine a side story where we suddenly find a tribe of bread somewhere in the desert. And
Well,
the leader goes like, "Oh, my people."
Yeah.
Okay,
The funniest part of this, I'm sorry, the funniest part of this page isn't even like any description. It's just the context of it existing in a description about bread as a D&D race, and it's the society section.
We live in a society.
society. Okay, so Brett leader.
Society.
Okay, so
Wait,
Brett
okay.
leader.
I'm sorry I keep interrupting, but the ability score increase is that your strength decreases by 2, your charisma increases by 3, and your wisdom increases by 2.
What?
What?
Wow.
What kind of
Ooh,
bread kind of this?
Okay.
Dang.
That's actually perfect for a wizard.
I'm just gonna skip to the part where he travels around the world because apparently this is the stupid part. Apparently the Chinese intelligence has a whole fucking like section where like the spies are just birds and their job is to eliminate all breads because breads they don't want breads to like overthrow humans. Obviously finally stopped in Oregon where they live, yada yada yada. He becomes a biology teacher, and then he went like, I don't know anything of. I have studied humans, but I don't know anything about my people. So he started studying about breads, and then he harnessed the power of the crumbs in the top of the. He basically met the Dalai Lama, and the Dalai Lama went like, "I remember your people. They left something. Oh, really? Yeah, they left this crumb thing that if you harness it, you can become God." And Berlito accidentally harnessed that thing. He's like, "Wait, you mean that thing right out the front? Yeah. Why? I harnessed it. Cool. But I don't want to become God. That's lame. So what do you want to be? I want to be everyone's dad."
I'm experiencing a real Ryan Vergara. I'm experiencing a real Ryan Vergara listening to the hot dog moment here.
And then maybe I don't know. On the way home, he's like ready to like just go home, just continue his job as a biology professor, and then maybe he got isekai'd into this fucking world.
I can relate.
Question.
All right. All right.
What's split Plato's anatomy?
Bred.
Flower.
I don't know what I
eggs,
expected.
You know, the
I
whole
don't.
deal.
All right. I've still been freaking out over this homebrew bread race that I found. I'm gonna read to you about part of their society. They have a godless religion where they believe that after death, good bredens will go to a desert where there are no rains, no birds, and candy is abundant. Meanwhile, bad bredens will be tossed to the rainforest full of animals wanting to eat them, where they will be painfully restored each day. Sorry. So the animals in rain can destroy them once again for all eternity.
I mean,
Wow.
Among their traits, bredens are diplomatic beings with with proficiency in persuasion skills.
wait, proficiency in what?
Persuasion.
Yes.
Their base walking speed is 35 feet, faster than a human.
I mean, they're tiny. They're tiny.
They possess toasted skin, which means as you live in deserts, your skin has toasted and hardened naturally. Your armor class, while unarmored, is 10 plus your constitution plus your proficiency. So you have better AC than a human, an elf, a half elf, a goblin, or a half orc.
Beautiful.
What about in wet places, like
Okay.
when it was raining on the mountain?
Okay. Wet bread. If you are in a wet ambience, get doused with at least one pint of any liquid or drink more than a pint of liquid. You have you have disadvantage in saving throws, attack rolls, or skill checks depending on strength, dexterity, or constitution until you stay in a hot, dry place for at least 1 hour.
Yeah, that doesn't apply to Bred Leto. After harnessing that fucking crumb thing, he's probably waterproof at this point.
Hey,
Can we get like
wizards wear cloaks.
Actually, there is a section describing their biology, and it
Okay, I made this.
and it begins with the sentence, their biology is pretty weird. They need to barely eat, but they don't have to drink unless they want to. Drinks have to be extremely limited, as it can and will affect their body. Even a big bredden can't have more than a couple of gulps of water before suffering heavily. Curiously, when drinking poisons or potions, it is not the poison or the potion, but the water that affects them. Caffeine and alcohol can affect them more because it is liquid than the other reasons.
That doesn't answer my question. How do they shit? Is it answered in there?
They only dress when going to wet places or towns. In the deserts where you might find them, they are not dressed, or in the most prudish ones, they use frosting and candy to create their clothes.
that's weirdly exotic.
Here are some suggested names for your bredden.
To make this.
Cocoa. Yeah, here's the suggested names: cocoa wheat, cinnamon bun,
Lame.
Raisin- raisin
Sour
cookie,
bread.
rice cake, and sour bread.
They just took the name of different kinds of bread and
Yeah.
put it in.
Those are just pastries.
Those are just pastries. That's lame. That's
Wait,
like
Okay, I found a
that's
completely
like if you
different.
had a child and you name your child Italian.
I found a completely different name from old wandering magic users who turn into bakers. Awoken loaves often jump out from ovens and start adventuring for no reason at all. I'm
That's literally Bred Leto.
I'm going to send the image that is on the wiki to the group.
what a fucking party.
That's burst.
Okay, I found a Reddit post on the DnD Reddit, and it's my current character is a piece of bread that uses mage hand to carry itself.
That works actually. Oh, that's cool actually.
Okay, so mage
Three
hand is
feet,
essentially
ain't it?
like telekinesis, so they can move objects with their hands. But they're like mind magic powers.
Since it can only carry small stuff, breads are
Breads?
so it's not against the rules or anything.
He's like Red Nero for bread.
Oh, strength
I mean,
defense is like
initially I
3+.
thought Bredlito would have like a cane, like
Okay,
a
I-
wand. Let's make a third race. Let's make a third bread race with Bredlito.
Okay,
I
self-guided.
am shocked. I dedicated my whole life
What do you
to
mean it's
Jesus
a
Christ.
humanoid
This is how I-
type?
I am disgusted. I am revolted. Dedicated my whole life to
Humanoid.
Jesus Christ, and this is the things that I get.
There's just been a banana peel that's been slowly decaying on my
What?
desk the whole time.
What? Why?
Bredlito doing what he does best. This is probably a special skill he has that I just made up. That is too OP to the point that he can only use it once in a millennia or something like that.
Freya, can you
Yeah.
redraw that meme that's like born in a mountain, raised in a cave, trucking and fucking is all I crave, but it's Bredlito.
Wait, what? What meme?
Born in a mountain, raised in a cave, trucking and fucking is all I crave.
Oh. Okay. Well,
Ooh.
now we know how he shits.
I want every like either incredibly violent or like incredibly horny image on the internet to be photoshopped with a little head of Bredlito.
Sometimes I just really want to make Bredlito my mascot. So like,
I mean, he's very marketable. I would buy a.
Oh,
I
God,
know.
would.
And like just so when people see Bredlito, see things of like me and my OCs. So like,
You can legit make a fucking
Make an anime.
No. Make a Bredlito based fighting game.
that could work.
Interesting.
That could work. That could work.
The zoning tool that Bredlito has is he rips off a piece of himself and then throws it as a projectile.
That's 90% of the moves.
The bread like regenerates the bread. I just said regenerate. Now I'm imagining like the 10th Doctor regeneration, but it's Bredlito as David Tennant.
Oh my god.
I don't want to go. But instead of regenerating, Bredlito retreats into a pan, and then someone pours a new yeast on him, and he rises again as a new Bredlito.
That's
Harlot's backstory is this.
Harley's story is just Napkin doing his absurdist routine. Bredlito is like a lore. This is it should be in a Bible somewhere.
yeah. I remember one time before Lanjum, and I just tell you guys Bredlito's backstory.
I'm gonna become honest.
With
You've
the
told me.
birds.
Yeah.
With the
Most times you told me the backstory, like my mind did the Windows like 98 like screen crash like noise.
I made that up on the Bredlito's like backstory. I didn't give any thought to it. Just one time in my old school, my friend asked me like, "Who's Bredlito and what's the story?" And I just made all of that up on the spot.
It kind of guys, remember cult leader Brian?
Yeah.
I did not have anything prepared for cult leader Brian.
This
He
makes
was
sense, Brian.
mostly a product of your guys' interaction with him.
I really want
Coffee.
Bredlito feels like a hot dogga in my.
Welcome to another episode of Hot Dog.
Like if all of my OCs were like Buzzfeed Unsolved and I don't know, Watcher maybe. Britlito is hot dog.
I'm sorry. I just found a very weirdly horny GIF from another Comrade show, and I feel compelled to share it with you guys.
Oh, please.
Horny gifts.
I know you're also horny.
I forgot where I found it, but it's very horny.
Wizard.
It really is.
Oh, it really is.
It's quite horny.
Yeah, he looks like he's getting the suck.
The fuck is that?
That's Comrade or Wizard.
You know, if
I
only
went- Yeah, I noticed, but I went to get some milk, and this is what I come back to.
if
Hey,
only like the quarantine is not like if only the if it weren't for the quarantine, like I think I really want to like just go to a convention and sell there, but then just sell Britlito merch too.
Cosplay is bred.
Okay, I just
Bye.
I'm
that
thinking-
my from my room, I just want to say the guy you said is hot. It's my boy.
Yeah, you said something about the guy I said was hot.
Yes.
And
And I
Hannibal?
I would vote.
Huh?
What?
You would vote?
No.
I just now remembered how weirdly horny Wizard was, because there's a complete wakes up from bed and he looks like all satisfied, like with that smile on his face, and then he turns and it's Comrade or Wizard in the writer suit in bed, like posing like one of your French girls, and
Must have been aside.
why was Wizard so horny? There was like one skit where like it was one of the older like classic Comraders, and he was like supposed to do a thing, but he got distracted because he was watching porn. I'm sorry, I'm going through a thing here where I just realized how horny one of my favorite TV shows is. There's just one scene of a Comrader watching porn, and it's never brought up again.
Common Rider watching what now?
It was like
You
it was
see
part of like
I mean,
a
everyone watches porn at least once in their life.
Yeah,
like-
but like
it was like part of a comedy skit or something. I don't know.
okay.
Oh god. What? I'm sorry, I'm going through a thing right now.
Oh, my cat is biting my leg.
Hell yeah. Fucking kick it.
That's me. Now it just climbed on top of my lap, and now it's biting my hand. Oh hell.
My energy just exploded when we were talking about breads, and now it's all gone.
Red Lido is a disgrace against God.
She rejected that.
Oh yeah, by the way, I found the image I was talking about. The image.
Sorry. What? What am I seeing here?
Is this treatment? What is going on?
Okay. What am I seeing?
Wizard was so horny.
What is this? What am I seeing?
It's a scene. These are scenes from Comrade Wizard.
Oh no. Don't do this.
You want me to be?
Oh god.
Don't do this to me.
Now remember, if you need Red Lido, just toss a little nugget to the corner of your
What if
room and he'll be
What if
there
someone
inside.
ate Red Lido?
Huh?
You know, that whole nugget thing.
Electrocuted.
What does Red Lido taste?
You can't eat Red Lido. You'll get electrocuted.
What?
Yeah,
Sounds fine, man.
that's Red Lido's shtick. Like, you can't eat him because he's gonna electrocute you.
Why?
It's like divine punishment.
Why does
Is it like the way Joseph eats garlic bread?
Why does he have electric powers?
Okay, here's the thing. Red Lido is based off of one of my characters, okay? And that character has the ability to emit electricity, and if you don't know which character is that, what are you doing? It's Carlito. So, like, yeah.
Oh yeah, you told me about him before.
Yeah.
Wait,
So that's why Bradlito has like
Bredlito is Carlito's breadsona.
yeah, basically.
It's his breadkin.
What the fuck? There is a cat meowing, and it sounds like it's in my room, but it's not.
It's a
What
spectral
the
cat.
fuck?
It's a ghost cat.
It's a ghost cat.
It's the sound of. It's the sound that a cat does when it's horny.
You know.
The cat. There's no cat. Is it outside? Where is this sound coming from?
Alright, I'm gonna
Oh,
sing.
it's outside.
I'm gonna sing in an attempt to make you guys leave this voice chat.
Okay.
No. Wait, I have an actual question. DM.
Yes.
Is it possible
Alright.
for Kay to leave the campaign
Okay.
and start fresh with a new character?
I could.
You're gonna have to kill Kane.
No, can't Kay just like leave?
Sure. He just is tired of the craziness of the party.
What about the Phantasmal piece?
Or wait,
No.
wait.
It's just the hypothesis. It's just the hypothesis.
You could.
I mean, why leave? Like, we're gonna have like an epic battle after this. Like, why can't
It's just a hypothetical question. It's a hypothetical question.
Oh,
I
okay.
follow this kind of strength. God
don't-
knows I couldn't make that.
I don't want my Kay to die.
Cancer
Is
is
this a guitar off?
Wait, what song is
Is
this?
this a guitar off? I can also play the guitar.
Please
I can
don't.
play the guitar, but I can't sing. Yeah.
Okay, Priya,
What?
hit me with a song that I might know. Play us out.
What? No, pick a song. Pick a song, like a musical song. So I know.
Sing "Never Enough" from Greatest Showman, because that's the only one.
How dare you? Who do you think?
Okay, hey, what musical song do you want me to play?
I don't know. Oh wait. Guy.
Okay, sure.
Forever.
What was that song called again?
For forever.
For
Right?
Forever Chords. Okay. For Forever.
I should probably get going. I'm gonna exercise. Goodbye, boys.
Okay.
What time?
Okay. 1, 2, and give me some blue.
Excuse me, what?
End of May of early June. This picture perfect afternoon we shared. I don't even remember how it's like.
Okay. Let me try. And then May, June, picture perfect.
Share. Winding country road.
Grab a scoop.
An open field that's rained with trees. We pick a spot and shoot the breeze like buddies do. Quoting songs from our favorite bands. Telling jokes no one understands except us two. And we talk and take in the view.
Fuck, hold on. EV chord.
What?
I don't. Okay. Are we doing it from the beginning?
No. Just always see the sky.
Okay.
Okay. 1,
2, 3.
2, 3. All we see is sky for forever. Let the world pass by for forever. Feels like we could go on for forever this way. Two friends on a perfect day. I could not hear you at all.
We walk a while and talk about the things we'll do when we get out of school. Yeah, I can do the song. This is the first time I tried playing that song. We walk a while and talk about the things we'll do when we get out of school. What? How about we sing a duet?
Oh sure, yeah.
Well,
Sure.
what song?
What musicals do you?
I've heard some songs from Dear Evan Hansen. I've heard some songs. I've heard some songs from Hamilton. I've heard some songs from Wicked. I've heard some songs from Les Miserables. I've heard some songs from In the Heights. I've heard some songs from a few stuff.
What about